Hello everyone, welcome to this online and digital classroom. Myself Roshan, your geography teacher, and you are here in this channel, Learn Geography with Roshan. So, as we were discussing about the hydrosphere, that is tides and ocean currents, we discussed about the meaning of the hydrosphere means the total amount of water that is present on the planet. All includes hydrosphere. It may be on the surface, it may be underground, it may be in the atmosphere. So all the total amount of water that is present on the planet is considered as the hydrosphere. And we also discussed about the distribution of land and water. As we know, the 71 percentage of the earth is covered with water and only 29 percentage of the earth is covered with landforms. And we also discussed about the arrangements of the landforms and the water bodies. 3 points were there. That is, the first one is the antipodal arrangement of the land and water. The antipodal arrangement of the land and water. The second point is that the land masses are narrowest in the southern hemisphere. And the third point is that the Antarctica is connected to the three continents. That is, one is connected with the South America, other one is connected with the South Africa, and the third one is connected with the Australia, with the continent of Australia. So, ocean currents. There are two regular movements of ocean currents. The first one is horizontal, that is known as ocean currents, and the second one is vertical, that is from the surface of the water, from the bottom of the water, the depth that we see. So that is called vertical movements. So how this horizontal and the vertical movements of the ocean's water takes place. The first, that is due to the density of the water. The density of the water makes a vertical movement of water, ocean water, that is. So the bottom of the water is more dense and the upper layer of the surface of the water is less dense. Because of the density of the water, what happens? There is a movement of a vertical movement or upward and downward movement of the ocean water. Then we have the winds. The surface of the water on the oceans mainly moved or mainly helped by the winds. The winds cause movement of the horizontal movement of ocean currents. So now let's see about the movement of oceans, water and ocean currents. What other ways the ocean currents are helped for the movement of water? The first one is, the definition of ocean current is there. The first one, that is, ocean current is the general movement of a mass of oceanic water in a different directions. So what is the definition of ocean current? It is a mass movement of ocean water towards a definite direction, which is more or less similar to water streams or rivers on the earth's surface, which is similar to the rivers that we see surface of the earth, the streams that we see on the surface of the earth. So similarly, on the oceans, the particular movement of the directions of the water is termed as ocean currents. The mass movement of the ocean water towards a particular direction is termed as the ocean currents. It is like a river in the ocean, right? The land surface heats more rapidly and more intensely than the surface of ocean water bodies. Therefore, there are variations in density and temperature of oceans. So, as we know that it is a fact that the land surface will heat up so fast, rapidly, and the water heats up very slow. So there is a variations of temperature, the differences of temperature that makes the ocean water to move. These variations leads to the formation of ocean currents. What is the variation? The temperature and the density. The variation in the density and the temperature makes these ocean currents to move. The third point is that the ocean currents balances the heat. The equatorial areas, they receive plenty of sun rays. They receive high temperature. So what happens? The ocean water of the equatorial areas will be moving towards the polar areas, and the polar areas where the sunlight is so slanting, the water moves towards the equatorial area. So in this way, the movement of warm current and the movement of cold current balances the heat of the earth. According to one estimate, ocean currents account for about a quarter of the total heat transfer in ocean, and the winds account for the remaining 3/4. So 1/4 of the ocean water is transferred by the heat, and the 3/4 of the ocean water is transferred by the winds. So the major factor is that due to the heat and the wind, the temperature and the wind, the horizontal and the vertical movements of the ocean currents takes place. Now let's see the causes of ocean currents. Causes of ocean currents. The pattern of oceanic circulation is produced by the interaction of a number of factors. There are a number of factors that the pattern of circulation of ocean currents takes place. These factors are, the first one is planetary winds, or it is also known as permanent winds. The second one is variations in sea water temperatures. Third one is variations in seawater salinity, and the fourth one is rotation of the earth, and fifth one is configuration of coastline. So these are the some factors that help the ocean currents to move towards a particular pattern of directions. So let's see the first one, that is the planetary winds. Planetary winds means permanent winds, that is blowing on the earth's surface permanently. There are three types of planetary winds, that is trade winds, westerlies, and the polar winds. Trade winds are the winds which blow nearby the equator, and the westerlies are also known as anti-trade winds that return back from the Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn, and the polar winds are nearby the polar area. So there are three types of permanent winds or planetary winds that are found on the earth's surface. Let's see one by one. The prevailing planetary winds, that is trade winds, anti-trade winds or westerlies, and the polar winds play vital roles in the origin and development of ocean currents. Most of the earth's surface energy is concentrated in each hemisphere's trade winds and the westerlies. So each hemisphere, the movement of the ocean currents are concentrated by these two major winds, that is trade winds and the westerlies. So second one is because of the Coriolis effect. I think you remember the Coriolis effect definitions or Coriolis force definitions we have studied in third chapter, rotation and revolution. So the northern hemisphere currents flow to the right of the wind directions, while the southern hemisphere currents flow to the left. Due to the Coriolis effect, as we know that the northern hemisphere, the wind direction will be towards the right side. Any direction they will be following in the northern hemisphere, they will be diverting, or their diversion will take place towards the right side in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere the diversion or deflection will take place in the left side, towards the left side. That is known as the Coriolis force or Coriolis effect. Intervening continents and basin topography often block continuous flow and help to deflect the moving water into a circular pattern. Due to this Coriolis effect, what happens? The water, the winds or the ocean currents that move towards a particular directions, and in the northern hemisphere they divert towards the right side, or they deflect towards the right side, and southern hemisphere they deflect towards the left side. So that makes a particular circulation pattern. Then we have third one, that is the flow around the periphery of an ocean basin is called gyre or eros, or it is also known as cycle. So what happens? Periphery, the limit of the of an ocean, is known as gyre, or it is a spiral pattern. Most of the ocean currents of the world follow the direction of prevailing permanent or planetary winds. As the planetary winds or the permanent winds flow surface of the water, most of the direction of the ocean currents follow these planetary winds or the permanent winds. For example, the equatorial currents. They are found north and south of the equator, flow eastward at a speed of 40 km per hour under the impact of trade winds. So, the trade winds that are found nearby the equatorial areas are led by these equatorial currents, and they flow eastward at the speed of 40 km per hour. So, that is due to the permanent winds that is caused. The Gulf Stream in the Atlantic Ocean and the Kuroshio in the Pacific Ocean move in northeastern directions under the influence of the anti-trade winds or the westerlies. The Gulf Stream, underline this, the Gulf Stream and the Kuroshio current. Gulf Stream is in Atlantic Ocean and the Kuroshio's ocean current is in Pacific Ocean. These both are warm currents. They move in the directions northeastern directions under the influence of the westerlies. Westerlies are the second type of the permanent winds. So they follow these westerlies and they move towards the eastern directions. Many of the ocean currents are drips caused by the friction between the winds and the surface water. So the friction and the drips are caused due to the clash between the winds and the surface water. Friction means the clash between the winds and the surface water. So the drips are formed due to this winds and surface water clashes. Then we have the variations in seawater temperatures. So the variations in seawater temperature also help for the movement of the ocean currents. There are marked variations in the horizontal and vertical distribution of temperature of the oceans. As we know, there are the horizontal movement of the ocean currents and the vertical movements of the ocean currents. So they are marked as the vertical movement of the ocean currents and the horizontal movement of ocean currents that differs the temperature. The distribution of temperature makes them to move. In general, the temperature decreases from the equator towards the poles. So it is a fact, it is a universal truth that the equatorial areas receive more temperature, so it will be heated up. As we move towards the polar areas, the heat or temperature decreases, so it is lesser and lesser towards the polar areas. And from the surface towards the bottom of the seas and the oceans, and when we see about the vertical movement, the surface water of the oceans will be heated up first and the bottom of the water will be cooled. So it is a slow process. That is, the bottom of the water will be heated up very less and the surface will be more. So there is a difference of the distribution of temperature. In the equatorial region, the density of water decreases due to high temperature. So as the equatorial region receive high amount of temperature, density of the water decreases. So when the density of the water decreases, they move apart and the bottom of the water will be coming into the surface of the ocean water. There is a negative correlation between the temperature received and density of water. So there is a negative correlation between the temperature and density of water, which means higher the temperature, lower the density of water, and lower the temperature, higher the density of water. So as we know that when the high temperature will be there will be low density of water, and there is the low temperature, there will be high density of water. So in the wind also you can see where there is high temperature, it is a low pressure. When there is a low temperature, there is a high pressure. As a result of these, the hotter and the lighter water from the equatorial areas move towards the colder and denser water of the ocean, denser waters of the polar areas. So because of these temperature and density decrease, what happens? The ocean water from the equator move towards the colder area, that is polar areas, and the polar areas water comes towards the equatorial area. That is how the pattern of the circulation of the ocean currents are formed. Contrary to these, there is a movement of ocean water below the water surface in the form of subsurface current from colder polar areas to warmer equatorial areas. The Gulf Stream and the Kuroshio, they are warm currents, very important warm currents, underline these, moving from equator towards the North Pole. The Gulf Stream, as I told you, it is in Atlantic Ocean, and Kuroshio, warm currents, is in Pacific Ocean. So they move from equator towards the pole. The Labrador and the Kurile currents, the Labrador current and the Kurile currents are the cold currents. The Labrador current is found in Atlantic Ocean and the Kurile current is found in Pacific Ocean. So the Labrador and Kurile currents moving from polar areas towards the equatorial areas are the some of the such examples. These are the four names to warm currents and to cold currents, major ocean currents. Remember it. The next is variations in seawater salinity. So the variations of salt content in the ocean also vary or also make the movement of oceans. The same amount of salinity is not found in all parts of the oceans. The amount of salts contained in seawater vary from one part of the ocean to another. The high salinity water tends to subdue and move below water of low salinity. So as you know, the high salinity of water, which is a bit heavy, will be sinking and they will be subduing towards the low salinity of water below the surface of the water. Ocean currents on the water surface are generated from the areas of low salinity to the areas of high salinity. So, where the low salinity of ocean currents are found, they will be moving towards the high salinity of water. Like when we compare the ocean water of Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. There is a marked variation in the salinity of the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. Because of this variation, the ocean current flows from the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. So the amount of the salinity is the Atlantic Oceans, the amount of salinity is very low, and in Mediterranean Sea, the salinity is high. So what happens? The water currents or the ocean currents move from the Atlantic Ocean to Mediterranean Sea. So that is one of the example of the variations of seawater salinity. The next point is about the rotation of the earth. As we know, the rotation of the earth is from the west to east. The earth rotates on its axis from west to east. Here, the Coriolis force also will be applicable. This rotation is the cause of deflective force known as the Coriolis force. As we have already discussed, due to the Coriolis force, the northern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, the wind will be deflected towards the right side in the northern hemisphere, and the winds are, or the ocean currents are deflected towards the left side in the southern hemisphere, The Coriolis force, which deflects the general direction of the winds and that of the ocean current. So, the Coriolis force deflects the direction of the winds as well as the ocean currents. In the northern hemisphere, they will be deflecting towards the right side, and in the southern hemisphere, they will be deflecting towards the left side. For example, the currents flowing from equator towards the north and south poles are deflected to their right in the northern hemisphere and towards their left in the southern hemisphere. The counter equatorial currents are also the result of rotation of the earth. So counter equatorial current means eastward flowing currents, that means westerlies. The movement of the ocean currents are caused by the westerlies are known as counter equatorial currents. So they also are affected by the Coriolis force. We have the last one, that is configuration of the coastlines. So the arrangement of the coastlines and the landscape of the coastal areas also make the movement of the ocean currents. The shape and the configuration of the coastlines also have a close influence on the direction and the movement of the ocean waters or ocean currents. In the Indian Ocean, the monsoon currents closely follow the coastlines. So, as we see the monsoon currents or the monsoon winds that hit the state of Kerala, and along the coastal areas, the ocean currents flow towards the Gujarat or Maharashtra area. So, this is due to the shape and the configuration of the coastlines. Along the coastlines they follow. So, these were the few numbers of the factors which affect the movement of the ocean currents. So, learn these names. They are very helpful. They are very helpful to understand the pattern of the circulation of the ocean currents. There are 5 as we discussed. The first one is planetary winds. The second one is the variation in the seawater temperatures. The third one is variations in seawater salinity. And the fourth one is rotation of the earth. And the fifth one is configuration of the coastlines. I hope that you have understood the concept. In the next video, we shall discuss about the few examples of the warm currents and the cold currents. The warm currents, basically the Gulf Stream and the Kuroshio ocean currents, and the cold currents like the Labrador cold current and the Kuril cold current. So these are the few ocean currents. Warm currents and the cold currents play major role for the circulation of these ocean currents, and they also have the benefit towards many of the continents, like in the eastern side of the North America and the western side of the Europe. So any doubts, any queries are there, please do ask in the WhatsApp, and keep reading, keep practicing, study hard, and don't waste your time. All the best. I remain.